Shine, wild ones, it's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Pick a Card Tarot reading for Wednesday, April 28th. Yes, it is April 28th, 2021, and we're in the last few days of the Kickstarter, so thank you all so much. It's gone incredibly well, and I know it's going to do even better over the next few days, and if you haven't gone and gotten your book, pre-ordered your book, please, please, please do so, because the price will go up by $10 per book right immediately after the Kickstarter, and you want to get in on that good special, all the good specials that are there. So go on over to Kickstarter, and also make sure to click the subscribe button and the notification, ring the notifications bell, and that way you are subscribed and you get all the daily readings and everything that this channel offers, my channel offers, the channel offers, the spirit animal offers. It's a big offering, y'all. Just get it in your notifications, and then you're donezola. You're all set for the rest of your life. So this morning's card is the Snail, and I love this card because, you know, it's full of a lot of hidden meanings. And what that means is most people, when they see, well, I don't have any data for this, but I would suspect, painting with a wide brush, that the majority of people, when they think about snail energy or snail medicine, pardon me, the symbolism and meaning of snail, it's all about taking your time, going slower. Home is where the heart is, very much like with the turtle, where they have the shell on their back, or any of the, the critters that you find in the oceans, that in the seas, that have the shells on their back. They take their home with them wherever they go. But I particularly love Snail for today because it's so much bigger than that. And it's really interesting that Snail shows up on a Wednesday, because that's the bridge between the first of the week and the last of the week. And the sacral, or the solar plexus chakra, is the chakra today. So when I take a look at a snail's shell and I see that, that spiral, I'm always led to the Fibonacci sequence, and, anything that is spiral is never ending, and all that kind of thing. And so when you take a look at a chakra and the way it's supposed to spin, that even though the coloration may not be the same, although there are a lot of yellow tones in the particular snail that wanted to be in the Arc Tarot deck, now we're talking about, really working on your solar plexus chakra, getting it whirring, getting it going, get the color cleaned out by healing it or balancing it, clearing it, that kind of thing. So that's the first message of today, is right here in your solar plexus chakra. Let's get that, maybe spend a few minutes today and just focus on that, meditate on that, and really in your mind's eye, see that whole center area spinning. Now, let me just say this. So I had a class do that one time. We were just going to work through do some chakra work. We were going to work on a chakra each week, in conjunction to the psychic development and the intuitive tarot class that I was doing. And I was like, okay, well, each week we'll add a chakra to the mix and see what happens. Y'all, no lie. If I hadn't been there to see it, I don't know that I would have believed it. But a couple of the students did the visualization. I don't know if it's that they did the visualization so much or so hard or so thoroughly, or that their systems are just really sensitive. I don't know what it was, but two of the students, when they got their solar plexus chakra going, they had to excuse themselves a couple times during class because they started to have digestive stuff, not in a negative way, but they each shared with me that they both had been a little bit clogged, if you know what I mean. And they'd taken laxatives, and they'd done this, and they had eaten this and drank this and whatever, and they were still clogged. The minute they got that solar plexus chakra going, wee, that was it, man. They had to haul it to the can. So I probably too much information, but I have to share that because you can have very powerful experiences of all kinds when you work with your chakras, right? So anyway, so if that, I'm just forewarned, is forewarned is for toilet papered. I'm just going to say that today. Forewarned is for toilet papered. Okay, so moving on. Another thing that's interesting, though I can't even fathom how scientists found this out, and I'll leave it at that because you all know how I feel about animals and cruelty to animals and animal testing and that kind of thing. I'll just leave it at that. But interestingly, snails leave a slime when they travel. And part of that is so, well, they kind of push it ahead of them. Part of that is so that they can glide very easily over whatever terrain they need to glide over. And while you can't really, well, you might be able to, I don't know. write me and tell me if you have slime that you can do that with. But you can do that in a metaphorical sense. You can do it in an energetic sense where if you feel like you're going to have to ride over rough terrain, and that's emotionally, mentally, physically, you can send your slime, you can send your slime out ahead of time, and you can make that glide easier for yourself. One of the ways that I would bring to that is this. In the last week or so, just this slew of readings, people have wanted to know what they could teach other people, what they could tell other people, what they could get other people to do that would prevent or stop or heal XYZ situation. And my answer to that always is, do they have your permission to do that? Did they ask you to help them do that? And I will tell you that 99.9% of the time, that's a big no for. No. But I want to blah, blah, blah. Okay, totally get that you want that. And it sounds reasonable and logical. But even if somebody is not doing great by themselves or others, that's Nanya business. And it's Nanya business because that's their sacred contract. That's their choice. And until they decide that they want to do something about it, really what you're doing is you're exercising your will or trying to exercise your will over that other person. And that just goes against natural law. And listen, when you see somebody you care about really, not doing great by themselves or others, that can be a really hard thing to grasp or to accept or to believe in or even want to hear, because most people don't want to hear that. And I totally get that. Believe me, if I could wave my little magic wand that sits in front of me all day, every day and go, bibbity bobbity boo, the world would be as perfect a place as I can possibly envision. And I'd be telling people like Dear Abby, write in and tell me what's bothering you. Tell me what's going wrong. Bibbity bobbity boo. So, I get that, but today is not. Spread the slime, spread your own mucus, your own slime, so that it's an easier path for you, not what you're trying to make it for others. And also, which has nothing to do with the animal testing and the cruelty to animals and all that. And please remember, in the Kickstarter, the reason that I was told to run Kickstarter during April is it is prevention of animal cruelty month, and that is my cause. That is the one I am most dedicated to and will always be. And so, all of that said, the mucus from snails is used to treat wrinkles and spots and scars and all that kind of thing. And again, you can work with snail in that energetic sense. Like, let's say you've got a scar and you think you've got a scar on your heart. Kooky as it sounds, you can work with snail to put a healing ointment on that. And one of the ways that may happen is, I find that when people have scars on their heart, scars in their mental, energetic aura, emotional, that kind of thing, one of three things happens. They just shut it off and they ignore it and they don't address it. And then that will always manifest. It'll sit there and it'll rot and it'll decay and it's going to cause other problems somewhere. Or they try too fast to move through it or get rid of it, and they just keep beating their head up against a brick wall. Or they're moving through it so slowly that who knows how long it will take or if it will ever be okay. But if you call in another energy, in this case, on this day, it just happens to be snail. On another day, it could be a hawk. On another day, it could be a seahorse. It could just be the energy of that animal that's going to help you with any. And I just keep being drawn to our heart chakra, which makes good sense. That's, listen, it's for sensitives like the wild pack is, for empaths like the wild pack, like you are. And every living thing is psychic. Every living thing is an empath. But if you're looking at my channel, if you're watching this today, you are super, super sensitive. Everyone that comes here is, or they wouldn't be drawn to this channel, right? They wouldn't be drawn to the animal allies or anything like that. So you can use that slime. It's almost like a healing salve, and it sounds kooky, but you might make a sweet little friend out of snail if you'll just allow snail into your consciousness and just communicate with snail, they're very sweet little animals and smarter than you might think. But when I communicate with snails, and I do, I have a hugely high incidence of them in my backyard. And when I communicate with them, they really do remind me so much of turtle or tortoise. They're just very ancient. They've got this very ancient wisdom about them, but they're tricksters, they're jokesters. They've got a really good sense of humor. And I really think that they communicate with the fae folk. I really, truly do. Who I've never seen, but I absolutely do believe in for a myriad of reasons. But anyway, all right, so moving on from the mucus, the other thing that is important to know for you about snail today is they're hermaphrodites. And what that means is they have both female and male organs. They're a perfect blend of the feminine and male energy. And so you would think, well, why do they need to then mate with another snail if they have both female and male organs? Why can't they just produce their eggs all by themselves? Probably because they don't want to. I don't know what mating is like in the snail world, but if it's anything like mating is in other species or in other animals, they may do it just because they think it's fun. So that being said, oh, I'm such a Scorpio. My mind just always goes there, doesn't it? Anyway, so what I will say is, because they have the male and the feminine energies, it's going to be really important for you today to balance those, whatever your feminine energies are with whatever your male energies are. And if you find that you're one more than the other, maybe you want to start to incorporate more of the other that you're, running a little low on in whatever way. That will manifest in a jillion different ways for a jillion different people. But the other thing is, when it comes to that, what I'm looking off because I'm hearing the message that's coming in. So for those of you who are just joining me, thank you. For those that are, longtime subscribers, good morning. And I love you, and I hope you're having a great day, and I hope everybody's having a great day, but, my longtime subscribers, you're my heart. So you'll know that I practice intuitive tarot. So when I pull the cards for you all for the morning or any day, yes, I know what my own cards mean, but then Spirit's going to bring in other things that has meaning for you, particularly in this moment. And in this moment, what I'm hearing is, even if you are an island unto yourself, you're very self-sufficient, you're really independent, and you're doing great at it. And maybe you are a really already great blend of male and feminine energies, and that's cool. But what's not going to be cool for you right now is for you to try to do everything by yourself. That's not going to work. You're not going to be able to lay the eggs that you would want to lay. And by the way, snails can have, I want to say, like 430 or over 400 or something. They lay that in a year, I think, over 400 eggs in a year. I'd have to double check that, but they are prolific egg creators. And when I think of anything that creates an egg, of course, I go to the cosmic egg, the cosmic consciousness, and any work that you might be doing with that, connecting to the universe, really creating, like anything that you're creating. And this can be and I'll say it's simple, but let's say that you are creating the ultimate brownie recipe. Well, that's may not be so simple. Crazy, famous Amos and those cookies, they're terrible, by the way. I mean, I'm sure once upon a time, Mr. Amos made amazing cookies, but over the years, as they've gotten institutionalized and taken up by big box brands, they're horrible. But, nothing beats a fresh baked cookie. Nothing, period, end of story. But, you may be baking whatever brownie today that may turn into a famous Amos cookie, meaning you might be famous for your brownies, Betty's brownies or something like that. Maybe through the art of making your special maybe through the art of making your special brownies, you have some of your deepest thoughts or deepest healings, like you come upon some kind of aha moment, while you're licking the batter or whatever. So it just be really sure that you are that you're in that balance of those feminine and masculine energies, and that you are moving along at your own pace, not a pace that anybody else thinks you should or wants you to. It's got to be your own pace, or no good will come of it. So I really hope that was helpful. Pick up your copy of the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck, please. In the last few days of Kickstarter, go get your book because price is going up. I mean 11/12 because the Kickstarter ends at 11/11 on May 1st. At 11/12, that's it. Kickstarter shuts down, and then it gets redirected to my site, and the price goes up because the paper prices went up in China. I can't help it. And but all that being said, what's the most important thing? For you to do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild.